Hello there boys and girls, it's Mr. Reddy from Outdoor Learning, and today guys we are going to be exploring our sense of touch, and we are going to be hopefully learning some more words that we can use to describe the things that we can feel around us. Now next to me I did a quick little run around the Outdoor Learning office and around the area, and I found some materials which I think have an interesting feel to them, an interesting touch or texture to them. And what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be exploring all the different words that I could use to describe what I can feel. Now, I've decided, because it's a nice day and I've got this space, I'm actually going to be using chalk and I'm going to be using the floor to write on today. However, if you want to do this on a piece of paper, with a pen, or even with some paint outdoors, that is absolutely fine. Explore and try and find all different ways that you can do today's task. Okay guys, when I'm feeling today's materials, I'm going to be keeping these three things in mind. I'm going to be thinking about how something feels, the shape of the material, and if my material can move or not. Okay, I'll show you my first example. Here I found the lid of a glass jar in the office. Now let's see how I can use these three things to describe how this feels. Okay, first of all, how does it feel? Well, it's smooth. If I run my finger over it, it's not bumpy at all, and you can probably see that on the metal itself. It's very smooth, but it's also very hard. Okay, it's smooth, but it's hard. Now let's have a look at the shape. How would I describe its shape? Well, its shape is round. If I was to describe the shape to somebody, I would say that the object in my hand is round. And can it move? Well, what I mean by that is it bendy? Is it flexible? No, it's very stiff. It's very rigid. Okay, so I'm going to pop this down and we're going to have a go now at describing how this feels. Okay boys and girls, and here are the words that I have used to describe my first object, the lid from my glass jar. And here I have my next object. In my hand I have got some cotton wool. I've got two balls of cotton wool. Now, how do they feel? Well, they certainly feel soft. They feel fluffy. Okay? They almost feel a little bit squidgy as well, because I can press them in and I can squeeze them. Can you see? Okay, well, what shape would I say these are? Well, if I maybe had to describe the shape, I'd say that it feels round in my hand. So I think I'll use that. And do they move? Well, is it flexible? Yes, it is flexible. I can bend it. I can move it around. Okay? Right. So I've had a little think about it. Now it's time to add my cotton wool to my board. Okay boys and girls, I have just finished with my cotton wool. Now for my next material. Well, I have found some washing up liquid. This could be very interesting indeed. Now let's explore how this feels in my hand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour some into my hand like so. Okay, now let's use the three things to help me. How does it feel? Well, it actually feels, first of all, I can feel it's a little bit cold. It's a little bit cool on my hands. It's also wet. Okay, if I put my fingers in, it's wet and slimy. Okay, its shape. Well, I don't really know what I would call this shape, so that's okay. I'd say it just looks like a puddle. Maybe I'm going to write that down, because it doesn't really have too much of a shape, and that's okay. It's a liquid. It can move around. Now, does it move? Well, yes, it is runny, isn't it? It is runny in my hands. Can you see how it's dripping down? So I think I'm going to describe, well, does it move? Yes, it's runny. Okay guys, oh look at the state of my hands. I'm going to have to give these a little wash, but that's okay. It's all about getting messy and having fun. Okay now guys, I have just finished with the washing up liquid. I did think in terms of shape, or maybe I could call it a blob. So I've added blob into there. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to carry on looking at my materials. I'm going to see if I can fill up the space on the rest of my little bit of ground by here. Okay? Your job is to create a word wall just like mine, describing all the different ways that the materials you find around your house feel. Now, it is absolutely okay for you to work with other people to try and see if you can think of as many different words for the textures and the feels of each of these materials. What's important, boys and girls, is that we are moving away from just saying big, small, soft, or hard to describe something. There are many different words out there which you could use to describe your objects. So have a go and try and see how many you can use in your work. Okay guys, if you want to take a photo or a video of your work, that is absolutely fine. Just send it to us on Seesaw and we will mark it for you. Okay guys, enjoy and best of luck.